Hello, and welcome to this taste challenge, afternoon taste challenge. Two bourbon whiskeys. The first is 10 High. 10 High, introduced in 1934. And I have been seeing this for years. I bought the old label. This is the new one. America's Native Spirit. What bourbon is. Uh, Established 1879. Well, not really. That's when Hiram Walker Company was established, a Canadian American company. Hiram Walker sold 10 High to, actually, Hiram Walker, the whole company was sold to Barton Brands, Barton Distilling, and then they sold to Sazerac. They were sold to Sazerac in 2009. So it went from Hiram Walker to Barton to Sazerac. All right. So, but yeah, the Barton goes back to 1879. Okay, there it says. We love to hear from our customers, Sazerac.com, which there's no website listing for this product. Bottled by Barton Distilling Company, Louisville, Kentucky. Government warning. Sour mash, so it's a sour mash bourbon, no age statement. Bourbon whiskey with natural flavors. Now you say you can't add flavoring to bourbon. Oh no, this is not a bourbon. This is a bourbon whiskey with natural flavors. Okay. So apparently you can get a bourbon with, you can't get a flavored bourbon. That's absolutely out. Well, actually, you can. You can get blended bourbon, but this is a bourbon whiskey with natural flavors, bottled in Kentucky. Now, where is the bourbon produced? It doesn't say Kentucky bourbon. It just says bottled in Kentucky. It could be coming from Indiana. That would be a good guess. Honestly, we don't know. We just know it's sour mash stuff. Alex says, I've tried 10 High, not too bad. Tater Dom says, cheers, everyone. I thought it would be from one of the coasts calling it 10 High. No. If you read about 10 High, that's a racking system where they put 10 barrels on an angle on a rack up 10 high, and they take the bottom, and that's the old bourbon. Like say they put it there, and a year later they take a second barrel and fill it. In the third year, they'll take some of the second barrel and dump it in the first, some of the third, dump it in second, and go up the rack. So you got this really old blended bourbon at the bottom. But they don't claim to use that system. They just call it that. I'm pretty sure it's not bourbon's aged like 70 years over a 10 High racking system. They call it the Solaris system for brandy. Cheers, Louisiana Liquor Reviews. I know very little about whiskey. Can you tell me the definition of sour mash? It's a process developed by James Crow of Old Crow Whiskey to take live yeast from the previous batch and use it in the new batch to get it started fermenting, like people do with friendship bread. Like it's just a method to take, like I said, the live yeast, put it in the next batch. They call it sour mash because the yeast is already fermenting sour, and then it gets the next batch going. Some say it's better, some say it's not. Seems fine to me, you know. Nice. Sour mash. Okay, so there you go. There is no website listing, but I'll show you what Total Wine says about it. Ron, you never run out of knowledge. Well, not yet, but it's coming, I guess. Okay. Got the right glass. Now, what are the natural flavors? I don't know. Tastes like vanilla to me. But here is Jeppson's bourbon, introduced way back in 2020, right at when the scamdemic started. Jeppson's bourbon, a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys from Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. I know this because it's on the website. They do have a website listing for this, and I'll show it to you. It's a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, aged 4 years. The youngest whiskey in here is 4 years old. It's blended and bottled in Illinois. So they don't make the whiskey. They just ship it to Illinois and then they blend it and bottle it there. Good. Even. Which one's darker? I guess the Jeppson's a little darker. It's 100 proof. It's 50% alcohol. 50% of this product is pure alcohol. Ooh. This one is only 40%. That means 60% of what's in here is not alcohol. It's probably water. What are the Joe Hill, you're in Canada, right? What are some readily available pumpkin beers that you would recommend? I don't know. Are pumpkin beers really readily available anymore? Because in Louisiana, they pretty much died away, except for Jocko from Samuel Adams, which somebody told me it changed because it used to say added lemonade or lemon peel. Now it doesn't say that. So I'm going to research that. Probably didn't change much, but I might get the new Jocko to see. Readily available. That's it. Jocko. In my town, Jocko. That's it. So far, there's one leftover bottle of like bourbon cask St. Arnold pumpkin beer from last year, $6.99 a bottle. Talking about a 12-ounce bottle. Not exactly worth it, but 355 milliliters in Canada. But awesome product. I'm not going to say it's not awesome, but I mean, come on. You don't need to. You could just sit there and imagine how good it is instead of experiencing it for $6.99. All right, clinking the mug, says Alex. So yeah, I don't know. 10 years ago, I could have given you a lot of stuff like Southampton pumpkin beer and Buffalo Bills. That fat gourd from Samuel Adams, that really strong gourd beer, pumpkin that was like 9%, and it was a lower one. Pumpkinhead. Well, I don't really see Pumpkinhead anymore. There was one from Trader Joe's made by Federal Jacks, which was related to Shipyard. You can go deep into the city and find Elysian pumpkin pack. That's the best. If you find a pumpkin pack, that's the best from Elysian Brewing or Washington State. But I don't know if you can find it. I might buy that one from Krebs Brewing, Prairie Artisan, but it's expensive. It's like $24 for a 12-pack. Right? So that's $12 for 6. I guess $2 is not bad. $2 a beer. We get Elysian here. I think there may be some pumpkin here. Okay. That's your best bet, I think. All right, so here we go. Oh, well, let's look at the website while I mix these up. There's Jeppson's. I don't like the new label. They adopted this new label this year, but it hasn't shown up in Louisiana. I guess they got a lot of backstock of the current former label. Glencairn glass, which I broke all 4 of mine, unfortunately. 100 proof. There's a 90 proof for those who prefer less heat, like me, for instance. Single barrel program. These are special order bourbons, but they'll send them. I guess you can coordinate with a grocery store or a liquor. Well, I say grocery store. In Louisiana, it's grocery store, but in other states, a liquor store. Yeah, because grocery stores in Louisiana sell liquor. Sherry cask, port cask finishes. Those are probably very nice. All right, but yeah. Now they got that Malort. Wormwood-based digestive. Yes, like a sort of like a absinthe type thing, or like we get in New Orleans Herb Saint. Herb Saint. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that. That's. I don't think I want to deal with that in my life. But it's your life. Do what you want. Okay. Here's 10 high. Oh, it might be all right. I'm sure it didn't sell for 100 years because people hated it. There's the bottle if you couldn't see when I was showing it on video. The big handle bottle, which is what I bought because it was a better deal getting the big plastic bottle. $14.99 a Total Wine in Louisiana, Mandeville, Louisiana. That's about as cheap. That's about the cheapest bourbon you can get in America. Of course, you're going to read what Sazerac sent them because they didn't write this themselves. A quality sour mash whiskey that maintains a wealth of tradition and craftsmanship. 10 High is carefully distilled and matured in white oak barrels to create a smooth, distinctive bourbon. Now, some reviews real quick. 7 days ago, very good for the price. Very good and smooth. The strange thing about 10 High is that it tastes like expensive bourbon. In some comparisons, it has a smoother bite without the aftertaste. Great whiskey for the cost. Incredible value. Great as a mixer for bourbon and Coke. One of the few bourbons my palate picks up distinctive tasting noted. Here's one. It's crap. They cut it with grain neutral spirits, and you can tell. Well, no, they don't do that anymore, actually. So he must have got an old bottle. All right, so most of the reviews are good, and it's getting an 82 out of 100, which is good, like a B minus. So people don't hate it. All right, comments. Two Roads, Romary's Baby. We don't get Two Roads. Why did you give the Fiddlehead such a bad review? Fiddlehead? I don't think it was a bad review. Burley Sullivan says, you! Cheers back to you! I'd like to try to double extra strong Fiddlehead. I know there's a double IP. Let's talk about liquor, not beer. 10 High is not bad. Okay, well, we're going to find out right now. I think I already did that, but I did go to the Office of Redundancy office yesterday. This morning. All right. Somebody sent me that Fiddlehead. We certainly can't get it in Louisiana. Bienvenue in Louisiana. All right. Alex says cheers. Cheers to you, clinking the mugs. This smells like a lot of alcohol and nuts. Nuttiness, like pecans, walnuts, maybe almonds. Oak barrels. Smells great, actually. It's good. I wish I would buy it. Well, I might have. All right, taste over here. Woo! Sweet corn. Wow, wow. Oak, alcohol, strong. Must be the Jeppsons. Ooh, blimey. All right, let's go to the taste. Bottoms up. It's mild. It tastes sugary, oaky, like bourbons tend to be. It's got vanilla because I think they're adding vanilla, natural vanilla extract. I can't prove it, but then it says natural flavors. These people crack me up, man. They'll get on the internet, on YouTube, and they're talking about, oh, this says natural flavors. That means it's fake. It's artificial. I was like, no. That means it's natural because it comes from nature. Artificial means it's developed in a food laboratory and it tastes like something, but it's not what it tastes like. It's like, well, they use these chemicals like coal tar and whatever else, and they made it taste like strawberry, but it's not related to strawberry in any way. It's artificial strawberry flavoring. Whereas natural strawberry flavoring would come from, you guessed right, a strawberry. But these people are fanatics, and you can't talk to them. I say, well, do you know what a natural flavoring is? Clearly, they do not. Now, here's where people are going to take it the wrong way. Do I advocate adding flavoring to bourbon or any other whiskey I might add? I don't advocate it. Although I'll admit that I've tasted many of these and they kind of taste good. Canadian whiskey, that's common there that they add flavoring to it. It's just a common thing that they do. Okay, taste over here. I didn't say I advocated for it. I just say it doesn't taste bad to me. If it tasted bad to me, I would say, oh, this tastes bad. Oh, they should have never added flavoring. But if it tastes good, I just read all the comments. You saw the comments I showed. People were saying, oh, it's really good. It's really good. I like it. It's really good. No. You say, well, they're all lying. The only people that told the truth are the ones that disliked it. Okay. Maybe a little caramel or salt. I don't know about the salt. But, okay. So do these two taste vastly different one from another? Picking up the strength now. Whew, that's got to be the Jeppsons. That's pretty strong. Whoa, 100 proof. Got to be, right? Yeah, this tastes weaker, meaning not as strong. Okay, so this is the 10 high. That's the Jeppsons. I'm calling it right now. Got it right. Now, to be fair, you say, oh, you're an amazing taster. I'm not really an amazing taster because this is 80 proof and this is 100 proof. So most people could probably figure that out. Like blind, you say, well, that one's way stronger. That one's way weaker. So I just taste them. Oh, this one tastes stronger. This one's not as strong. Must be this. And then you get it right. So, yeah. You're watching from New Hampshire. I've been to New Hampshire. 100 proof is pretty strong. Yep, says Alex. Sure is. It's as strong as I like to go. 100 proof is fine, but above that, 101 starts to grate my nerves, and above 101 is, I don't want to drink it. I'm just telling you, I don't want to drink it. You say, what if somebody gave you 114 proof whiskey? I'd just give it to somebody. I would re-give it. I would re-gift it because I don't want to drink it. Oh, yeah, I got the full proof benchmark. I haven't opened it yet. It's 125 proof. I'm sure I'm going to hate it. Jean-Pierre says, hey, Jay. Jean-Pierre, look what I'm drinking. You got it right. 10 high sour mash bourbon with natural flavors from our friends at the Sazerac Company. $14.99 for the full-size bottle. But I think Walmart's got it for $16.99. But I think I actually bought this at Matherne's because they had it for $15.49. So I went down the middle road. I didn't get it as cheap as Total Wine, but they didn't have it. I didn't pay as much as Walmart. I went to Matherne's and I saved $1.50. And I still have, probably could do 5 more taste challenges with that. I won't be buying it again because, I got a lot of other stuff. But then by the time I don't buy it again, they'll come out with some new 10 high, right? It'll be like 10 high bottle and bond or 10 high sunshine blend or something like that, made with brown rice whiskey or something crazy. You know, that I'm making that. I'm saying that on purpose, yeah, because there's a new Jim Beam. Ezra Brooks and Zachariah Harris is also good. Well, I have a Zachariah Harris. I've never had it. Had Ezra Brooks. Well, no, actually, I've never had the regular Ezra Brooks. Can you believe this? I've never had the standard Ezra Brooks, but I got a bottle. And I got a bottle of Zachariah Harris. So yeah, I'm ready to roll. Hey, Ron and others. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, Mr. Amazing. We're doing amazing. All right. Jeppson's. I like it. It's enjoyable. It has a good flavor. But on the other hand, it is $29.99 for this bottle. Is that exorbitant? No. Is that a high price for bourbon? Not really. But yeah, I bought this bottle, which is more than twice the size. It's not double the amount. It's more than double the amount. And I paid $15.49. I'm pretty sure that's what it was at Mathern's. Because I know Walmart was higher and Total Wine was lower, but Total Wine didn't have it. I didn't feel like waiting around for it because it wasn't even that big of a deal to start with. So I just bought it, you know. But yeah. So theoretically, Total Wine has a regular size bottle of this for $7.99. But then they never have it in stock. So it's like, oh, we have it for $7.99, but it's never in stock. Now, if you go to Mathern's, a local grocery chain here, Mathern's has, like I said, this bottle for $15.99, and they got the regular bottle for $9.99. 10 high, $9.99. Now, you say, I just want a regular bottle. I don't want a big jug. I don't want to be stuck with a big jug. Well, that would be your value. You can get a regular glass bottle, not plastic. You know, some people got a problem with plastic. I don't. Doesn't seem to affect the taste. I haven't noticed. But I can get the regular glass bottle for $7.99. I'm sorry, $9.99 at Mathern's, and that's a deal for bourbon with natural flavors. But they never get rid of it. They always have it in stock, always. So and it comes in and like regularly they get it. So somebody's buying it. Somebody likes it. They don't hate it. You say, but that's all the bums, the idiots, the fools, the morons, the dummies. Well, might be. But I guess I got a lot of idiots, fools, morons, and dummies that buy it. Sazerac has been making it for years. They bought it from Barton. Well, they bought Barton. What am I saying? They bought Barton, bought the whole company. And then Barton had bought it from Hiram Walker, which is gone. Now, can you still get Hiram Walker whiskey? Yeah. You can get Hiram Walker, all kind of whiskey, but it's not a company. It's just a name that somebody bought. But I think there's a Hiram Walker distillery in Canada. But it's the same thing. It's owned by somebody else. It's not the original company, but it might be good. I don't know. I can't pass judgment on Hiram Walker whiskey because since I never had it. But yeah. Might be good. But this is a relic of that. This is related to that because it is a Hiram Walker whiskey, just not under their ownership anymore. All right. Does Louisiana have good craft beer? Louisiana has some good craft beer. Let's look at it like that. Some good craft beer. Other craft beers Louisiana has is questionable. All right, but I wouldn't pay extra for just glass. No. True, but glass mini bottles are silly, says Lisa Hanby. Glass? Yeah, well, not if it's Johnny Walker Blue Label. Okay, but that somebody gave you, not that you bought. A local store had Johnny Walker Blue Label the little glass 50 milliliter bottles for $19.99. Now, what are you getting with 50 milliliters? You're getting like a sip. Like it's like literally you pour it and you go like this. Oh, let me take, and it's gone. Now, why would you ever pay $19.99 for that? It's bad enough, and I admit it, I bought it. It's bad enough that I paid $242 and I think 41 cents after tax for a full-size bottle of Johnnie Walker Blue Label. Was it worth it? Clearly, it was not. But I bought it. You know, it was a 95, but for that price, it should have been 105. Good to sneak into ball games. Hee hee. Okay, well, they're getting off track there. Well, you know, the comments are getting wild. All right, last call on the 10 high. It's basic, but you do get the sour mash like bagel taste, like a sourdough bagel. You do get a little bit of vanilla, which is probably coming from vanilla flavoring. They're cheating, but anyway. You get a little oak, and you just get like a sweet kind of candy flavor, because bourbon to me tastes like candy, and this tastes like candy. To me, it's not offensive. Now, have I had offensive products? Oh, yeah. Like from Aldi, that all play iced tea beer that's trying to compete with Twisted Tea. Oh, that's a nightmare, man. That stuff's terrible. But I can drink it, so it's a D. It's not it gets worse every time. So you ever drink a beer that's like it's kind of okay, then the second can it's like, what's wrong with this beer? And then the third one, it's like, oh man, this stuff's no good. And by the fourth beer, it's like, man, this stuff's just straight up bad. It just gets worse every time. And that's the kind of beer that is. Those all play iced tea beers. The tea is very bitter. They must have found the most bitter tea on earth for cheap. Oh, you can taste the tea though. They use artificial sweetener, I think. It tastes like artificial sweetener. And that it's nasty. The artificial sweetener makes it taste nasty. If they would have just paid an extra penny and used real sugar, it'd probably be a good product all across the board. But I was drinking one yesterday, the raspberry, and I was like, oh, I hate this product. Every sip is terrible. I'm sorry, I woke up at 1:27 a.m. True story. Got up at 1:27 a.m. so I could watch all the Major League Baseball highlights and the NFL National Socialist Football League highlights. And I made it. I did it. I did it. But so final story or final assessment. Honestly, this is controversial, I know. If it's me buying it, I think I would just probably buy the 10 high. Now, why would I just buy the 10 high over the Jeppsons, which Jeppsons is probably better? I think Jeppsons is, oh, here's the funny thing about it, though. We're talking about flavoring, right? So you can get a conniption fit and talk about why would you ever vote for a bourbon with natural flavors over a blend of straight bourbons. Well, if you read your regulations, a blend of straight bourbons is allowed to have natural flavors added. So does this have natural flavors added? This I do not know, but it's allowed and they do not have to disclose it. So this could very well have flavoring added, just like this one. But this one, they have to say it. They have to say it. They have to say bourbon with natural flavors. So they have to disclose it. Can't get around that. All right. So, but honestly, it's not worse. It's just not worse. It's not better, but it's not worse. It's pleasant. It's mild. It's mellow. Jean-Pierre, I was, giving you a little business, giving you a little hard time. But I agree with Jean-Pierre because I like 10 high. It's pleasant. I wouldn't make a habit of buying it. But There's got to be a reason it's been on the market 90 years. Now, I know it changed. It was a straight bourbon, but maybe the sales didn't really justify that expense. So they went to a blended bourbon, a bourbon whiskey, a blend. Seemed like it did okay at that price point, but then they changed it again. Sazerac changed it for whatever reason. And that didn't really matter because a bourbon whiskey, a blend, if you have blended bourbon, you can add flavoring. You can add it. Don't have to disclose it. Check your regs. But they decided to make it a bourbon, not blended, a bourbon whiskey with natural flavors. Okay. So I like it. If I went to a party or a wedding reception or I went to somebody's house to watch a game and they said, hey, you want to sip on some 10 high? I would not really take exception to that. I would like it. I'd say, yeah. And in fact, I would prefer it because this stuff is so strong that by the fourth quarter, I'd probably be like falling asleep and would not remember the fourth quarter. So in a pure sense of the word, Jeppson's is better. But in the overall sense, I don't know, man. I might go with 10 high because I can get a whole big bottle for $14.99. So, take that into consideration. So Jeppson's, I like it, but it's all how you look at it. All right. So y'all take care, and I will be back soon enough for another bourbon whiskey taste challenge.